live. Hello, everyone. I am your Kevinly father. This is Stop the INHANNITY. I was starting to watch Sean Hannity anyway, and then I found out that he was going to have Kayleigh McEnroe coming on later, so I thought I would check in, and if I have to watch it, why not share it with you folks? Because it is... wow. I look like... Who's the character? The wizard in some movie that has the hair coming out like this? That's what I look like today. Hi, folks. Nice to see you. Hi, Babe, Tracy, Cindy, James. Congratulations on being first. David, Chuck is in the room. I think I saw Stephanie. I might have seen Marcy. Eugene, hello from KS. Hello from KW. This is Hannity. Let's get right into it. We'll do Hannity. We'll do his interview with Kayleigh McEnroe, and then I will go watch my Oilers play a hockey game and get on the elliptical. So let's just watch. Here's the thing. Joe Biden has gaffes. Joe Biden stutters. He had a childhood disability of stuttering. He read poetry until he could get past the stuttering. He still sometimes can't find words. So we all make mistakes. In that last sentence, I said can't instead of... It's human. But he's also folksy. Remember, during his town hall, here's the other thing. Oh, he hasn't held a press conference. The right has completely forgotten he did a town hall where he answered questions from the American people, many of whom did not vote for him. There were Trump voters who asked him, the American people. Remember, the press is the enemy of the people. Joe Biden had a town hall, live, televised, not on C-SPAN, but on CNN, and he was asked questions by the American people. Not good enough. He answers questions almost every day. Twice yesterday. Not good enough. Hey, Phil. Oilers are okay. Oilers will be okay. Mike Smith will be okay. If they could get a better goalie, yeah, then fantastic. I do not know what is happening with the wings in my hair. Let's get right into Hannity.
Hundreds of billions of dollars in this so-called emergency spending bill will not be touched until after 2022. Some until after 2024, and some...
Yes, some of the bill is a rescue package. The rest of the bill is much needed. Oh, the schools are failing, they've been saying for years. The public schools are failing. We need charter schools. Taxpayers should have a choice because the schools are failing. Hey, you know what? Let's give the schools some money. Let's help them stop from failing because those are the schools that the vast majority of the population has access to. So, no, we can't give the schools money. Not next year, not after 2022.
Even as late as 2028, some emergency. According to Joe Biden, this bill...
They just can't... Hannity can only see one thing at a time. I think he sees more. Maybe he's just, I don't know, acting. He loves to do that, by the way.
It's really good for...
I'm live on YouTube. I better check that out.
Our economy, or at least that's what he tried to say during some rare public remarks. And as always,
he's constantly making public remarks. I literally can't cover all of the public remarks that Joe Biden makes. This is not rare. Go on C-SPAN. You can see all the times that Biden makes public remarks. It's all the time. And remember, we're back to daily press conferences from the White House.
Goes predictably, well, not perfectly.
He just screwed up, making fun of predictably, not perfectly. Oh, the ironing.
According to Joe Biden, this bill is really good for our economy, or at least that's what he tried to say during some rare public remarks. And as always, it goes predictably, well, not...
Always it goes I screwed up the word predictably, making fun of his... Like, you couldn't have screwed up a worse sentence than the one where you're making fun of his ability to speak. As always, it goes predictably. Like, what? He just stopped mid-word. For no reason. He hadn't screwed the word up yet. He just stopped and started it again. But he's about to make fun of President Biden's diction. Hey, at random.
Not perfectly.
One more thing.
Yeah.
The vast majority of economists, left, right, and center,
Sure.
from Wall Street to the private economic polling initiatives.
Yeah, he's probably trying to say equity funds. Who knows? Or maybe economic polling initiatives. Maybe he's trying to say that too. That's okay. And he suffers a speech impediment. Listen to that dyslexic guy. He's having difficulty reading. Dude. That guy in the wheelchair won't even walk. All right. Oh, God. Everybody makes mistakes. Did you see what I just said? I said everybody. But it's such a natural part of speech, we don't even notice it anymore. But no, Biden didn't know what he was talking about. Is it true that most economicists, left, right, and center, say that a much needed boost of funding from the federal government is at hand? Yes, they do. Left, right, and center. It's only Hannity. It's only Rick Gates who says it's too much. It's too much.
The economists, as I said, left, right, and center.
Yeah. Oh, then he clarifies. Just in case there was an issue with understanding what he was trying to say, he clarifies. He said, just like I said, the economists, left, right, and center. That's the point. The point is, we don't care about which specific economists.
Say, in addition to the needs that people have, we need this to grow the economy.
That is true. Thank you, judges. That's what he said there was true. Trump had so many misstatements and gaffes that during his time in office, I had a running segment. Lost in Trumpslation. In any given speech that we would watch, he would have 20 to 30 gaffes. He would make up his own words. He would forget. He would call Matt Gaetz Rick Gates 5 times in one speech. Thailand.
Kind of scary when you think Putin is watching, hostile regime. President Xi, hostile regime, he's watching. The mullahs are watching. Kim Jong-un are watching. What the hell is going on with Joe Biden?
He's busy being president. Yeah, those other countries might be watching. Xi doesn't speak English. I mean, haltingly so. Kim Jong-un, for all reports, has tried to speak English, but is not fluent in it. They have translators. The translators, by the way, The Daily Show did a very funny segment. You can look it up. The Daily Show brought in actual international translators to try and translate the things that Trump said. It's a very funny segment. Tim Apple, the oranges of the species, which he then said multiple times. What was the other one that he just couldn't get right and he kept saying it over and over again? Something like values there's just so many of them.
We'll update you. We'll have our update for the day coming up. Now, earlier, he literally forgot. He forgot the name of his own Secretary of Defense. I don't know, maybe nobody wrote it down on a special card that he always carries with him.
Yeah, he keeps a card with him for accuracy, so he can quote exact figures. God forbid! Hannity's the kind of person that when he goes into a restaurant with a group of 12, and there's the waiter guy there, and the waiter just has his hands together like this, just like that, and then he's taking everyone's orders, and yeah, and I will have the cordon bleu, but I want the blue cheese on the side, and I get that well done, please, with just a hint of, if you have it, lemon, but I don't want, if you don't have it, just let the chef know. I want those sliced in thirds, not quarters. Perfect. Perfect. Just write it down. You're gonna screw this up, buddy. And they do. I have absolutely I far prefer it if a waiter writes things down. Otherwise, I just sit there in angst thinking, I'm not going to get what I want. You guys have probably heard, if you haven't ever heard my ranch story, I'll tell it very quickly. When I ate French fries as a young man, when you can eat nothing but French fries, I would say, please, can I get a side of ranch with that, please? And I wanted the side of ranch when I got the French fries, or shortly thereafter. And I would take out a $5 bill, and I would say, if the waiter or waitress brings me my ranch when my fries get here, so I can dip the hot fries in the ranch, I will give them this $5, separate and apart from which is redundant and repetitive, from the tip. This is just for doing this one thing for me that makes me happy, that in my entire life of eating fries, probably 20 years or so that I would get fries with whatever I ordered, twice. I gave it away twice. Because people get, can I get that side of ranch? Oh, yeah, sir, I'll be right back. Oh, I'll let your waitress know. Who are you? Twice in like 20 years of saying, could I get a side of ranch or garlic AO or whatever it was, whatever I was asking for. Write it down. So when Biden says, yesterday we had 462 new cases of COVID-19. Yay! It's better than Trump just making up numbers. Making up numbers for the future. Within a few days, we're going to be close to zero. That was just over a year ago. Close to zero. Yesterday was the anniversary of, hold on, I think I actually have it. It's so popular. I have, let's say I've got a couple of things here. I should have just played this.
When you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero, that's a pretty good job we've done. Anybody that wants a test can get a test. That's what I would just say that we start.
A year ago, anybody who wants a test can get a test. And as I notated on Twitter yesterday, I still have to fake a symptom. If I want to go to CVS down the road here and get a COVID test, I still have to tell them on the app that I have a headache or a sore throat. Otherwise, I can't get a test. That might just be locally. I don't know. It'll be gone. It'll be gone like whatever this is here.
He also referred to the Pentagon as, that outfit over there.
Okay, so I heard some of the speech today, and I was like, wait, he forgot the Secretary of State? I don't think he... Wait, he forgot what the Pentagon was called? What are you talking about?
So he forgot the name of the Pentagon. Don't believe me? We've got the...
I do not. I do not believe you. But I'm willing to watch. Let's watch this together.
Painful tape. You decide.
I just want to thank you both, and I want to thank the former general. I keep calling him general, but the guy who runs that outfit over there. I want to make sure.
Yeah, he'd already said the name of the Secretary of State. This has been a whole press conference about generals, specifically 2 new female generals. And so he was about to call him the general. But you don't call him the general anymore. You call him the secretary, because you call someone whatever their highest rank achieved was. Once you're president, nobody calls you Senator Biden anymore. They call you Mr. President. So what happened here was he didn't forget his name. He was about to call him, I would like to thank the general. Caught himself before he did that. That's how cognitive he is. He caught himself before he made the mistake. Rick Gates. 5 times he called Matt Gaetz Rick Gates. Hi, Robert. Good to see you. Hello, Blind. And good to see you. These are the best for watching other people's eyes and expressions in the... that's weird. I'm getting a message on my watch that isn't on my phone. Who knew? So, yeah, no, he did not forget the second. This is so disingenuous. What Hannity does is get on the air and just lie. Demonstrable lies. That their whole thing before the election is Joe Biden is incapable. He's incapacitated. I don't even know if Don Jr. is coming out. All I know is that Kaylee Macaroni's coming up, so I thought I'd share that with you guys. I haven't seen it. I watched this part, and then either they said Kaylee's coming up, or I noticed it. But I said, "Oh, we have to see this. We have to see this." Hold on a second. Okay. Oh, there's a note. Apparently, there's an axe murderer nearby. Someone's Ring video doorbell like saw somebody with a hatchet or something. Yeah. What? Oh, okay. It's not an axe murder. That was a typo. It was a gentleman working for Ace, not Axe. No, it's the Ace Man. We have like Ace Hardware around here. Ace Hardware, I think, is nationwide. But if you're outside the country, we have Acemen. So somebody was coming to like install something or whatever. Could have been Ace Ventura.
Thank the Secretary for all he's done to try to implement what we just talked about.
The general that runs that thing over there, the Pentagon?
Yeah, he's folksy. Joe Biden says things in a folksy way. I don't want to talk about the former guy. He said in the town hall where he answered questions for an hour from the American people, and then, by the way, stayed around and talked to those American people after the broadcast was over, the same as with the debate. I don't know what's happening with my hair. Really? I just want the vaccine so I can get a haircut.
I still think for getting endowed by the thing, oh, you know, the thing.
What?
Endowed by the creator, Joe. God, the creator of everything. I think we...
Oh, he thinks that Joe Biden called God the thing. He was referring to the document. I don't even remember if that's even to what he was referring at the time, but whatever it is, Joe Biden did not call God the thing. Nor did he just call he did call the Pentagon the thing over there, whatever he called it. But he's being folksy. This is like, because he almost called the Secretary of State the general, because he's known him as the general for 30 years or however long he's been a general, 20 years, 10 years, whatever it is. And he's been having discussions. You don't just name somebody Secretary of State. You get to know them. You've probably known them before if they're a general. It's just ridiculosity.
You know why Joe Biden has not conducted a single press conference, nor has he given us a date for a state of...
Now, he hasn't had a single solo press conference. He has had multiple press conferences. 20, 30. I'm sure someone's looked it up. Look at the Washington Post. They probably have like an exact figure in dates of all the press conferences the president has done. Again, he answered questions twice yesterday. He's done a town hall. Yay! Anna's getting her vaccine. That's awesome. Monday, I'm eligible. 1 week. And I am just saying it. Like right now, I have those little pins and needles in my cheeks right here. And my chest is just like opening, like when you see when you see a former girlfriend or boyfriend, in my case boyfriend. Oh, Chris. Actually, Chris could have been a girl. We never actually got together. I saw him or her once from behind, but anyway, it's not really important.
The union address, he's clearly not capable. They got to really build to a crescendo here.
I don't even know what that means. But Anne's getting her vaccine on Wednesday. I'm getting mine hopefully sometime next week. Somebody's capable upstairs. Yeah, Eugene, your family eats it up. And I'm sorry for everybody who's got trumpets in the family. And Hannity watchers. By the way, Hannity, Rachel has won every night. Every night this year, I believe, that she's been on. Hannity's coming second on a nightly basis. Fox lost the first 2 months. They just took over, I want to say the 3rd of March or something, is the #1 network again. But Rachel kicked ass. Still #1 show, even though MSNBC has slipped to second, but only in the past few days. So, I mean, the cable news network ratings go up and down. And of course, when you look at the cable news, what people fail to realize is that CNN is making money hand over foot, right? They do this to make money. Fox has difficulty generating revenue because their sponsors are like MyPillow. Nobody wants to advertise with this guy. It's all the advertising is to their average age, which is about 67. That's seriously the average age of the Fox viewer. That's why they always talk about the prime demographic being the 20 to 54 or whoever you want to phrase, because those people spend money. 55 plus, they don't spend a lot of money. Not on material goods anyway, because by this time, you've already got just about everything you need.
But the bottom line,
I do not have the vaccine.
Is the narrative remains the same. The foreign press is now saying it openly that he looks weak and frail.
Hey, Faust, Moderna vaccine, Sunday, second shot, April 10th. Awesome. Awesome. And 2 weeks after that, you're good to go.
And is struggling cognitively, and now it's pretty much every day, and every day it seems to get worse and worse and worse, and we're just, well, we're...
There is some problem with cognition on this show. It's not from Joe Biden.
They're the people that are actually honest and truthful. Rest of the media said it about Reagan, said it about McCain. Why can't they bring it up here? Did they not see what we just played you?
You said decide for yourself, and we watched and we decided. Does anybody here think that Joe Biden forgot the name and that doesn't know what the Pentagon is called? Remember, in the town hall, he called Trump. He didn't want to say Trump's name. He called him the former guy. He knows Trump's name. I didn't watch Hannity the next night, but I'm willing to bet you 25 cents that Hannity played that and said he couldn't even remember Trump's name. Nah. That's my Hannity impression. No, actually, this is my Hannity impression. Is it possible that maybe it's time to, I don't know, impeach Biden? He looks over here and he goes, I don't know. Actually, he looks on that side because my image is reversed here. Oh, wait. If I'm watching the TV, if your left is here...
According to Press Secretary Jen Psaki, he's just so busy, he doesn't have time to hold a press conference.
Yeah.
We're supposed to believe this?
Yes. You know why? Because I'm getting the fucking vaccine. That's why. By the way, for those of you who are interested, I have been demonetized by YouTube's. So that revenue stream is gone. If you have to watch an ad before seeing this, YouTube gets the money. I don't get any of that money. I used to be monetized, and it helped me, feed me. Now, since I've been on a diet, not that big of a deal. If you'd like to contribute, blah, 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 blah. If you don't have the Cash App and you live in the United States, use that code up there. I will get a $15 referral fee when you send $5 to somebody. You could send that $5 to me. So the first time you use the app, spend $5. they give you $5 back. So you're not even spending something. So what I'm saying is you can spend that $5 with the Cash App anywhere you want to. In fact, you can even order a debit card. They will send you the debit card, and it works just like a Visa. You can get it black or white or whatever. You can make your own design, and I have a story about this design. And I love it. I love the debit card that I drew myself. And when I tell you guys the story, you're going to understand why I love it so much. Thanks, Christopher Roy. Thanks for the reminder. If you can't donate anything, hey, then please, then tell a friend. Share the broadcast on Twitter or on YouTube or whatever with some people that you love. If you have people that are big Hannity fans, what we'll do, I did this a couple of weeks ago, is I just did a fact check on Hannity with evidence to show, no, Hannity is lying to you. So what I'll do one of these days is take a Hannity episode and then just counterpoint everything that he says in his opening monologue, and we'll go from there. And you can send that to the people that you love that are being misled by this, should I say, evil man? Your hair looks great. Oh, doesn't it, though? I look like the Beast from the X-Men, that blue guy. That's what I look like. Oh, he's got the things coming out the side, I think, doesn't he? Who knows? I wish you guys could post images in the chat. That would be awesome if you guys could do that. YouTube, if you're listening, here's the end of that story. Now I can reapply. It's been 30 days. I can reapply for my monetization. Yay, right? So I go and it says you can now reapply, and I was like, great, reapply, and I was like, great. Now I'm going to say, now look, I looked through all of your how I'm harmful, all of the guys. I cannot find out where I'm violating, or for example, I didn't realize that I couldn't show koalas on the air. I didn't realize that was harmful. I will abstain from all koalage moving forward. No, you just hit reapply, and then, okay, we'll let you know, usually within 30 days. That's it. No feedback, no nothing. I still don't know what I did that was harmful. Ann says, now do tip-a-gib-a-gibber where you run down the beach in a swimsuit, LOL. I will attempt. Lizzie says, can I run my fingers through your hair? No, they'll get caught in there.
When can we expect the president to hold a press conference?
Well, first, as all of you know, the president takes questions several times a week. He took questions actually twice yesterday.
He did. I said that earlier.
Which is an opportunity for the people covering the White House to ask him about whatever news is happening on any given day. Right. We look forward to holding a full press conference in the coming weeks before the end of the month. But this president came in. Okay,
that was just cut. Obviously, that flash of white, that's cut. It could be, a legitimate cut because she went off on some other topic and came back. It could be that they were taking this out of context. I'm not even going to bother.
During a historic crisis, 2 historic crises. And I would say that his focus, again, is on getting recovery and relief to the American people. And he looks forward to continuing to engage with all of you.
Hey, Jen.
Okay. All right. So we will get a press conference at some point? Yeah, we will.
You're going to need to circle back with a better lie than that. I'm not buying it.
Well, you're not part of the White House press contingent. And why was that a lie? I mean, I think Joe's pretty busy. You can see him. Go to C-SPAN and you'll see Joe being busy. I don't know why that's a lie. But okay.
Too busy.
And this is the graphic here. You've got Jen Psaki. He's busy, right? And then in black and white for some reason, Joe Biden, and it looks like he's considering or listening, or he might be saying something there. Oddly, not golfing, but he's there. But because he's in black and white, ooh, scary. Scary president.
What do you mean?
Black and white, because he's old, like old-timey movies. I didn't realize that, Lizzie. Thank you. Judges agree. Yes, you are correct.
By too busy to take questions, communicate with.
He takes questions all the time. Twice yesterday, he takes a bunch of questions. Again, town hall.
We, the American people.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Did you just say what I thought you said? Hold on. Let's go back.
Hey, Jen.
On this, I can only go back 15 seconds at a time. I can't go back 5 seconds because it's not YouTube. It's YouTube TV. It's different. But anyway, so we have to jump back further than I want to. But here we go.
You're going to need to circle back with a better lie than that. I'm not buying it. Too busy? What do you mean by too busy? Too busy to take questions, communicate with we, the American people?
Yes! He did a town hall with you, the American people. First, it's not good enough he's not talking to the press in a solo press event. Now, he's saying he won't talk to the American people. He did. Hold on, because I can pull it up. I can do this. Oh, I'll show you guys this. So the other day I had an audition, and when you do an audition, they sometimes make you slate, which means say your name. And then sometimes they'll have you turn to the right, turn to the left, and then sometimes they'll have you do a full 360. So you have to do a wide shot where they body shame you. By the way, this went away for a little while during Me Too. Now it's back with auditions. Okay? Now it's totally appropriate. For a while there, they couldn't do it. But it's totally appropriate now for you to do, this is your, hi, I'm Kevin Williams with Demir's Talent LA or whatever. If there is a real Demir's Talent LA, I apologize. I'm not associated with you in any way. I just made that up. And then they go to a wide shot, wide if you're wide, a full body shot where you spin and you body shame. Sorry, they body shame. Anyway, so what happens then is that you load it up onto a site, and the site will grab a freeze frame from that, and it might be, I don't know, the 47th frame or whatever it is that the site decides to generate that frame. And on the site Dropbox, you can't choose your frame at all. On YouTube, you can choose the frame that they see. So when people go to see my audition, how do I hide it from you guys? Hold on. Let's see. There. Okay. I can do this. And can I bring it over? I don't know that I can. Oh, here I can do it like this. Here I can do it like this and this. So you guys can't see. There we go. That is what they see. That's the frame that they grabbed from me there. It was an audition for Blair Witch, the sequel. Blair Witches. Where bitches. But that's the frame that it grabbed, and I couldn't do anything to change it. So as they have all of the auditions like set out like the Brady Bunch on the screen in front of them, there's me. You can't see my ass, Lizzie. I do pretty much talk to walls. I bang my head on the walls a lot, and I talk to the walls. Oh, house calls. Did I pass? No threats found. Sweet. Let's go back to show me the Hannity thing again. Where'd it go? Hold on. Oh, for the love. Hold on. I got to pull up Hannity again here. When I shut down my ass, literally, it shut down the Hannity window as well. Let's pull up Hannity again. Yes, yes, yes. Just go when I click on one thing. Okay. Oh, no, don't go back to the beginning.
Hannity. See what you can do with that.
Okay. There's the he's busy.
What do you mean by too busy? Too busy to take questions, communicate with we, the American people?
We talked about this.
Joe, that's part of your job. You're the president. Remember? This is getting embarrassing. Now, keep in mind, every single modern-day president has given a full-on press conference by this point in their presidency. Trump, he spoke almost daily to the mob and the media that hated him. All previous presidents.
If you remember at the beating of Trump as well, he didn't give a press conference for quite a while. It wasn't this long, but he didn't give a solo press conference. And then at that solo press conference, you'll remember that he took out the maps, and he had like that crayon drawn map. And look how much I won by. And then look how many counties I won by. And then Peter Alexander said, actually, no, sir, Reagan won more. Because he said, oh, no Republican president has ever won. And he's like, no, Reagan won all the states but one, sir. Well, that's what I've been told, he said. Well, that's what I've heard. That's what they're telling me. And then that was right at the beginning of it all. And it was like, well, that's what we're just going to get. When he's wrong, if a reporter corrects him, he's just going to blame it on somebody else because he can't possibly verify his own facts. Can you throw up your QR code really quick? I certainly can. For the QR PayPal. This is my PayPal QR code. If that's what you're looking for, then go for it. Thank you.
President somehow found the time that Joe can't find. Instead of a press conference on Thursday,
because President Trump didn't actually do anything.
Joe Biden apparently will be marking the one-year anniversary of COVID shutdowns with what it will be a heavily scripted and practiced, quote, primetime address.
What? He's making fun of the way the way Biden speaks? Here he is.
The time that Joe can't find. Instead of a press conference on Thursday, Joe Biden apparently will be marking the one-year anniversary of COVID shutdowns with what it will be a heavily scripted and practiced.
Of what it will be a heavily... It doesn't even make sense, Sean. I know what you're trying to say, but that's the way humans communicate. And Sean does this constantly. There's always extra words in Sean's verbiage. But he's making fun of Biden. PR code, please. PR code. I don't know what the PR code is. Chef Rob, explain to me what the PR code is, and I will try and help. You guys are saying that the chat room is quite a bit behind. I will try and pull up the YouTubes so I can jump up quite a bit behind. YouTube is like 2 to 3 seconds behind. Oh, you didn't get the stimulus, Nick? Well, the stimulus hasn't happened yet. You mean the $600 check or the $1,400 check? Because the $1,400 check is coming if everything passes.
His, quote, primetime address. But tonight
his, quote, primetime address. Yeah, it's a primetime address. Why do you have to quote it? So-called primetime address. Yeah, it's an address in primetime. With his so-called words of so-called encouragement from so-called Joe. It's his name.
We have another anniversary to celebrate. It was exactly 1 year ago today when Dr. Anthony Fauci told you, the American people, not to wear a mask.
That is true. That is true. And for a while, and then as they learned more and the science changed and they realized, holy crap, this thing can be aerosolized. Holy crap, this thing is spread primarily by droplets. Yeah, you know what? Let's get wearing the mask. And please, folks, don't steal all the respirators. We didn't have it. And remember, the code red, the Red Dawn emails went around in January with the scientists and the manufacturer of the masks, the N95 mask, saying, hey, we will ramp up if you guys guarantee us that you'll pay for them. But I can't just manufacture billions of masks and not be... And the Trump administration completely ignored Red Dawn. Look up the Red Dawn email chain if you want to... what turns out to be a prophecy? There's probably a better word for it, but that's what they did. They knew what was coming. We ran through scenarios in 2019 of epidemics, and the Trump administration did everything wrong. The mistakes that were made by the Obama administration running the simulations in 2000, what year was it? Whatever it was. Every time an administration goes through this, prophecy. It's not a prediction, not a prognostication, a prophecy. Because it was almost a prediction is sort of, I don't know, I just think prophecy is a better word because of the monumental, I'm out of words. Anyway, go back and read the Red Dawn. When administrations make mistakes, you learn from those mistakes, and they did. And there were guidebooks on how to react in those scenarios. Completely thrown out. and ignored. And then when the Trump administration came in, after they disbanded the Epidemic Response Committee in 2018, in 2019, they failed miserably. Everybody died. And they learned nothing.
You don't believe it? You decide.
Now in the United States.
No, I have decided. I remember. Fauci did say that.
People should not be walking around with masks.
Yeah.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening, really?
No.
This was March 8th of that last year. Yeah. And that's what we thought at the time. I was like, hell no, I'm going to order masks from China. That was my prognostication.
Closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around.
But you remember, there was a run on masks like there was on toilet paper, and medical staff could not get access to masks to keep them safe and alive.
Around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often there are unintended consequences.
I'm not even fully blaming Dr. Fauci. A lot of people didn't know what we were dealing with at the time, but that was a year ago.
He's not fully blaming Dr. Fauci. He's blaming Dr. Fauci. They knock Dr. Fauci regularly on this program.
Oh, now Fauci, he's gone from no mask to one mask. Now he wants you to wear two masks indefinitely.
Yeah, and we know more and more about the disease now, don't we? Now we have a vaccine to fight the protein spikes on the virus.
Even after you're vaccinated, that's new. Now, my point is...
No, that's not new. It's from the beginning of when we knew that we were supposed to wear masks with the disease, when we figured out how it was actually spreading. From the beginning, it was, yeah, we should wear masks once we get the vaccine. Until everybody's vaccinated and the disease has been basically eradicated and community spread has been brought to a standstill, yeah, wear masks.
Is Dr. Fauci...
Oh, hold on. We got to go back to the beginning. Hold on, everybody. I'm so sorry. Joanna's here, so we're going to head back to the beginning of the broadcast. We'll just repeat everything. If you guys can remember what you said in the chat, that would be absolutely great. Let's do this again. Hey, welcome, everybody. I'm Kevin Williams. Please send me money. And everybody say first in the chat room. And then I said Hannity's an idiot. And then I did a Hannity impression where I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe we should make, I don't know, peanut butter. Okay? Lizzie was first. And we're up to, and then Lizzie said nice ass. That did happen. The judges rang the bell a couple of times. I ate this like a lollipop. I choked. The paramedics came. There was an axe murderer. And now we're fine.
Fauci and all the experts have been wrong a lot. The left treats him like some kind of deity. He's far from it. Now he's playing politics, which is sad. Now, for months, the same could be said about New York Governor Andrew.
I'm not sure how he's playing politics, but okay. So Cuomo's very bad. They should get rid of Cuomo. But in terms of, we've talked about this before, in terms of Cuomo's COVID behavior, sending the patients to nursing homes, that's what the CD said to do. We have the website from the CDC from March. It was Trump CDC saying, yeah, go ahead and do that. I just don't want to cover any quote. I want to get to Kaylee. So let's, and then I did watch this part right here. I was making some food and then I paid attention for this. He's talking about H.R. 1. H.R. 1 is a large bill. Part of it is talking about, hey, we need to make elections more widely available to American people, as many states full of Republicans are trying to limit Americans' sacrosanct right to vote. H.R. 1 does a lot to try and undo that.
Grabs in modern history. If passed, the federal government would be able to assert the state's constitutional authority to conduct elections with a series of mandates.
Not true.
That would include a mandate for same-day voter registration, a mandate for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of never-ending early voting.
This is what I tweeted. Weeks and weeks and weeks of never-ending early voting. That just doesn't make any fucking sense, Sean. They say never ending about wars, about elections. Now they're saying never ending about early voting. Huh. When do you think early voting would end, Sean? What would be the very natural ending to the early voting? Could it be, I don't know, the election? Sean? And you're making fun of Joe Biden's cognitive ability. I'm sorry, but Sean Hannity is a never-ending nightmare. Sean, invite me on your show. Let's have a discussion. If you're not, I don't know, chicken? Everything you're saying tonight is a lie. Except for the part about saying that Hannity said we shouldn't wear masks. That is true. But you have to put things in context. Stop lying to your audience. Never-ending early election.
A mandate for automatic voter registration. It would legalize
Nope, there's no mandate for automatic voter registration. That is not in H.R. 1.
voting for convicted felons, even those convicted of election fraud. It would give Democrats the power.
Once you've served your time, most of the states in the country already have. Once you've served your sentence, you get your voting rights back. Some states have it, the majority of the states do. And the people put the Democrats into office, and the Democrats feel, and in some Republican states, they feel that once you've served your time. By the way, you know who was a giant advocate for people coming out of prison, serving their time, and then being instilled back into the community? It's instilled? Both actually work. President Trump, you know, the former guy. That was Trump's biggest accomplishment, was finally signing the criminal justice reform. Getting criminal justice, because he wanted the criminals, the felons, to take up the 7.2 million jobs that were open during the Trump administration, because he wasn't allowing any immigrants in, so the immigrants couldn't come and take the jobs. So he's like, where else can we get people to? Oh, I know, convicted felons. But yeah, as long as you've served your time, you get your rights back. That's the way it works. The state has decided, and by the state I mean the federal or the states, has decided this is how much you have to pay to society. Once you've paid your debt,
to eliminate all voter ID requirements, none whatsoever.
that is not true.
In other words, H.R. 1 makes election fraud that much easier and likely institutionalizes it. And
You can't institutionalize voter fraud. That's not a thing. That makes no sense whatsoever. None. You have the institution, you have the people trying to commit voter fraud. You can't institutionalize that.
this, according to the actual language in the legislation, any legal constitutional challenge, quote, shall be filed in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia. Oh, why there? It's one of the most radical far-left courts in the country. Let's go judge shopping while we're at it.
Okay, but that changes back and forth depending on who's president. They appoint the people that go to the District of Columbia, and then the Circuit Court of Appeals, etc. But that court is a specialized handling of situations like this. And an appeal for the decision of the District Court may be taken to the Court of Appeals for the. This is fast tracking. In the case, and you want to do that because before an election, you want the court that can handle it to take it. And that fast tracks it right to the Supreme Court, okay? The District of Columbia is separate because the District of Columbia is a controlled space. The states, all of the states have 50 different sets of what happens in their state courts. That's how it works. So this is saying, hey, we're going to bypass that because you don't want to do it within a state. If you got a problem within a state, take it to the D.C. court because that's not a state, it's a district. That's why. That makes perfect sense. There's nothing wrong with that.
In other words, this unconstitutional bill is trying to
Okay, well, it's not unconstitutional, but okay.
block any
I mean, it has to be taken to the Supreme Court. If you have a problem with it, you can take it up with the D.C. Court of Appeals.
And all constitutional.
By the way, oh yeah, today, Trump is done. The Supreme Court is there were two challenges left. They challenged the ruling as Wisconsin, and Trump's legal team, actually not his legal team, challenged some of the rulings in Georgia. Both of those were tossed out by the Supreme Court. Well, not tossed out. They were just rejected. The Supreme Court's not going to hear them. So the just you wait crowd is going to have to just you wait a little bit longer, because this was one of those days that they're like, just you wait until they gets his day in the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court, unfortunately, cowards. That's what Trump said at CPAC.
Legal challenges. It's insane. Now, it won't pass in the Senate.
Yeah, in Florida, to answer Stephanie's question here, she asked, didn't a group pay off debts of previous felons so they could vote? Yeah, in Florida, you can't vote if you still owe a debt to the state. If you were ordered to repay the $5,000 for the car you stole and destroyed or whatever it is, you can't vote until you pay that off. Of course, you come out of prison and it's difficult to raise money. It's difficult to get a job, etc., or certainly not a high-paying job. That being said, that is probably unconstitutional. It's a poll tax, but that has to be challenged to the Supreme Court. And as far as I know, it's nothing's happening with that so far. Anyway, it's probably a court case somewhere along the way. But yes, somebody, Bloomberg, offered to pay off all the debts. I don't know how far that actually got.
If Joe Manchin and Senator Sinema, if they continue with their promise not to end the legislative filibuster, although Joe seemed to go wobbly over the weekend. If you're a voter in West Virginia and you care about the integrity of our elections, you might want to get involved, right about now, and let your voices be heard. Here with reaction to all of this, top stories, Fox News legal analyst, former White House press secretary Kayleigh McEnany.
Okay.
You know, when you think about it, Constitution...
Hold on right there. Kayleigh does not think about things.
It's clear. You went to Harvard. I think you have a pretty good understanding that state legislators decide the place, the manner that this would take place. In your view, is that unconstitutional?
Well, look, Sean, what was unconstitutional was what happened in the previous election, where you had Democrat secretaries of state overriding the will of the state legislature, which, as you aptly note, is the person who's in control of the time, manner, and place of election.
That did not happen. In none of the cases that were brought by the Trump campaign did secretaries of state override the will of the legislatures. In Pennsylvania, the bill was 77 that was passed in a bipartisan manner by a Republican-dominated legislature. In Georgia, the contract that was worked out between the Secretary of State and come on, guys, the lady who won the election. Yeah, and I've forgotten her name. Stacey Abrams. It comes to me eventually. That didn't change any state laws. That just reinforced what was going to happen. There wasn't, it was, all that did was say, yes, we will make more of an attempt to contact people if they can remedy their ballot. That's all that did, which is state law. It just reinforced the state law. It just said the state was going to make a better attempt to enforce the law. But anyway, they were saying they still believe that they weren't checking IDs. They weren't checking signatures in Georgia. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
Now, the federal Congress, the National United States Congress, can come in and usurp that power, which is exactly what they're
They can't.
trying to do, and you'd have a hard time challenging that in court. But this would be a travesty. It would be mass mail-in voting with prepaid postage, registering to vote.
Okay. Why? I'm not sure why that mass mail-in voting. Again, there are 5 states before 2020 who did complete mail-in voting, and it works fine. It's fantastic. Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Hawaii, Red State Utah are all very happy with the savings and the efficiency of their complete mail-in ballot. When I say complete, I should fact check myself. There are still places that you can vote in person, and there's drop boxes and stuff like that, but most of it is mail-in.
At 16 years of age, legalizing ballot.
What? Hold on.
And usurp that power, which is exactly what they're trying.
I think she's about to say something that is just completely inaccurate and just an outright lie. But I've heard it several times in the right sphere.
To do, and you'd have a hard time challenging that in court. But this would be a travesty. It would be mass mail-in voting with prepaid postage, registering to vote at 16 years of age, legalizing.
No. That doesn't. No, that it doesn't mandate anything. The bill says that's fine, but states get to make that decision. And there's nothing in there that says that anybody can vote before they're 18. There's nothing in the bill. In fact, that was offered as an amendment, and it was voted down by the Democrats. But, register. Well, because what this audience is going to hear, well, I heard 16-year-olds were going to vote. No, they're not. But can you register to vote in many, many states before you're 18 if you're going to be 18 on Election Day? Yes, of course. Why not?
Ballot harvesting, the federalizing of our election. They saw that
it's a federal election. There's nothing wrong with ballot harvesting.
It worked last.
In some states, if I just didn't feel like going to the ballot box, and I gave my vote to my son when he dropped by, they would consider that ballot harvesting. That's the problem.
Last time, and now they're just trying to make it the law of the land, seizing on a pandemic to create an electoral epidemic, and then doubling down on.
Not a thing. Electoral epidemic, not a thing. If anything, that would be a great thing. An epidemic? You mean an election that's sweeping the nation, affecting everyone? That's what we want, Kaylee. That's the goal.
That in non-COVID years, it would be a travesty for many years to come.
It would not.
Now, you work with the president to talk to the press a lot, often giving you kind of half the day off. You'd still be working, obviously, but he would be doing the talking to the media, did so quite often and quite regularly, more than any modern president that I can think of.
Really? Because during the height of the COVID summer, he went 2 months only talking to the press one time.
But Joe has yet to have time to have a formal press conference, which now has gone on longer without one than any newly, quote, elected president in modern history.
And he answers press conference questions regularly. Yep, go on.
You see the tapes we're playing. Do you think they're trying to hide him from the American people?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They hid him from the American people during the entirety of the election. They checked the box every few months when finally a left-wing network piped up and said, wait.
Yeah, you know those debates. You know that debate that Trump refused to even go to. That was them hiding Biden.
Joe hasn't taken questions in X number of days.
No, Joe has taken questions on an almost daily basis. So that's just a lie.
They check the box and move on, and that's what they'll do this month.
There's no box to check. That's a terrible metaphor.
But there's a reason, Sean, as you noted, I didn't have to do daily briefings because the American people heard directly from the commander-in-chief on his way to Marine One at the White House podium. I'd be boarding air.
Yeah, Joe Biden has answered questions on the way to Marine One. He does that too. Doesn't travel as much as Trump because for the most part he stays home on the weekends.
Force One for a second time, and they'd say, Kaylee, run back out there. He's taking questions, a third time today. That is transparency, and Joe promised that, but is giving us nothing of the sort, and now we see why. You play the tape. He forgot the name of
yesterday he answered questions twice.
The Pentagon and his own defense secretary. So
no, he called it that other place. He's folksy. That's the way, the building over yonder. Yeah, I'm heading back to the People's House. He forgot the name of the White House. He forgot the name of the Capitol.
No wonder they hide him. It's probably a good strategy from a PR perspective.
All right, as you look, you
All right, well, they won. I mean, they just fucking crushed you guys. So, I get it. You're hurt.
see what's going on now. All the previous
Now, I just want to get to the end of this.
COVID relief bills were bipartisan. This
Yes.
one is not.
Right.
A lot.
Because the Democrats, every single one of them voted for the CARES Act because it was right for the American people. The Republicans are not voting for anything because it's Joe Biden. You see? The Republicans are petty and put party before country. The Democrats put, and by the way, folks, I'm not a Democrat. I didn't even vote for Hillary. Didn't. Not a Democrat. Never registered as a Democrat. But this is painfully obvious.
A lot of the monies, as we pointed out, Ted Cruz pointed out, is not really going to COVID relief. This is now the big liberal.
66% approval with the American people. And the 33% probably have no idea what's in the bill and are just being fed these lies.
Radical socialist hit list, if you will, of things that they
Radical socialism, like donating money to the schools.
ever want or need as radical leftists.
That's right. And they're admitting it, Sean.
That's right,
Jen
Wayne.
Psaki stood at the podium today and touted this as the most progressive piece of legislation in history.
Good.
President Trump did 5 iterations of bipartisan COVID relief. Imagine if he had promised bipartisanship the entirety of the election, reaching across the aisle, the great deal maker. And then I stood at the podium and said, we just passed the most conservative bill in modern history with not a single Democrat by our side. We'd be mocked, we'd be ridiculed, but they're saying the quiet part out loud. This is the most progressive bill. It's a liberal wish list with.
Well, you did the Trump tax cut. Remember? Remember that? And you bragged about it being the you weren't there yet. But yeah, also you weren't there at the beginning. So you couldn't have done that. You didn't come around until like the last 12 months. But okay. But oh wait, we're imagining it.
$2 trillion price tag that we will all have to live with.
Unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. How much did your guy increase the national debt by? 9 trillion? Wow. In one term? He took it from 19 trillion to 28 trillion in one term. Our entire history brought us to Obama doubled it. In one term, he more than 50%, my friend. Worst president ever, if you go by those standards. Those were the standards that they applied to President Obama.
Kayleigh McEnany, by the way, welcome again to the Fox family. Great to have you.
Great. She's going to be on all the time.
Now, joining us with more is nationally syndicated radio host Dana Lash and Fox News contributor. We call him the podcast king himself. A healthy.
He's the podcast king? No, he is not. Ricky Gervais might be the podcast king if he still has his podcast. Adam Carolla might be the podcast king if he still does his podcast. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. But no, he's not the podcast kid. Pod Save America, that's a very, very popular podcast. Don Jr.'s on. Don Jr. just looks like, I'm just going through the little preview here. He spends the entire time criticizing Cuomo. I'm all for getting rid of Cuomo. Get him, gone. Doesn't affect me. I'm fine. Again, I'm not a Democrat. Then something happens later. Then Dan Crenshaw comes on, and we're like, oh no, but he's only got one eye, so we better give him the benefit of the doubt. He's an asshole. Okay? Who's this at the end here? We got. It won't play. I guess we're done. Oh, there it is.
11.
No, we're not going to talk about the royal family. We're shutting this down. I have no interest whatsoever in hearing about Meghan Markle and whatever. So that is that. And I will say good night. And we will see you guys probably tomorrow, maybe not. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll try and cover more of President Biden because apparently he's losing it and can't even remember his underwear. And that's interesting television. So we will see you guys, I'm going to say later. And at some point, I'm going to tell you the story of my new Cash App card. So if you want to support the broadcast, Patreon, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, go to the Cash App as in the United States. Okay, guys, it's been a pleasure. And if you want to go back and watch from the beginning, seriously, get a life. We'll get you cable or something, because it's... that was that. That was Stop the Hannity for the day. And the big news is there's no news. But hopefully soon, vaccines for everybody. Those of you who have the vaccines already, I hate you. But let's get together. Once I'm vaccinated too and I'm in your club, we're going to hang without a mask. Guys, you know how much we all love wearing masks, so I would like to continue that for now, unless you're with non-vaccinated people. Wait, the opposite of that. What Dr. Fauci said. Good night, everybody. Go sleeps.